Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Divine Transmissions with Janet. It's time to grab your cup of coffee or your tea, sit back so we can chat about what is going on in the stars above us. And remember, on this show, it's never just about the stars or the planets or astrology. We are combining astrology, human design, sometimes the gene keys. We do get into galactic astrology periodically. We are learning how to see ourselves, how to decode our soul's mission, how to decode our life purpose through many different ways, through different lenses. And I share this with people because I've used these same techniques with myself, right? If I'm looking for a specific answer about my life, I am going not just to my astrology, but I often am pulling out my Gene Keys book. I'm often pulling out the human design aspect and looking at myself through different facets, right? And that's what I hope to bring to you all is to look at any situation or any energy or yourself through the lens of many different facets, right? Thus, we get the name divine transmissions, where these are informations that are coming in from out there, right? Out above. I often do not follow the template of astrology as most astrologers would do it. I do it my way, and that way I can help you better understand yourselves. So I see a bunch of people joining in this morning. It's really good to have you with us. Um, Nico, hello. I haven't seen you in a while. Joan Durchie, I hope you had a fabulous birthday over the weekend. My granddaughter shares a birthday with Joan, and she turned 21 this weekend. We had a huge bash for her. It was fantastic. Natasha, good to see you. Haven't seen you for a while. Soul Strategy of Therapy, good morning to you. Christine Buckingham, hello. J-Lo, hello. Happy birthday, Nico. And today's lessons, right? One of the things I'm doing these days, and you guys actually can help me with this and tell me how valuable this may be or not. Every morning, of course, for years I've done this since 2013, right? I was broadcasting living astrology or astrology at that time. And I've always sat down and come up with basically a script or a template that I'm following. And it it has just recently dawned on me that this might be information that's valuable, that you guys might like to have copies of not just the video here, which goes on YouTube and Facebook, so it's always accessible, but the words, the written. And, there are transcripts that YouTube does, but I can't stand the transcripts because when you copy them, they come with a whole bunch of other stuff, the timestamp, all of the ums and the hums and the, things that we say uh right, us in the middle, that all comes in the script or in the transcript. So it would be a big project for me to try to clean that up when I already do it anyway. Oh my gosh, what an aha moment. Duh. So I want to know from you guys if it would be helpful for you to have access to let's call it a script, for lack of a better word, that details everything that we're talking about, but without the voice things that come, in broadcasting. So let me know that in the comments below. Is it a yay? I would love to have that. Or is it a I don't know, or I don't care? I want to know the truth, right? All right. So today we have lots of things to talk about. First of all, we start the day in a void of course moon, which is a bit of a wobbling moon. So I want to talk about what that means, especially because this void of course moon is in Aries, a sign known for action, and the void of course moon is known for just wandering, not doing much forward motion or movement. So there's that. We're also going to talk about the moon moving into Taurus a little bit later on this afternoon. I want to go back to something on Friday that we didn't get a chance to talk about, and that is Saturn, who has moved or will move yesterday, the 5th, into the gate 22, which is on the emotional solar plexus. And what does that mean for all of us from now until August 25th? And Sun sextile Saturn, excuse me, today as a transit in astrology. And then, of course, tomorrow's new moon in Taurus, a doozy of a new moon in the most beautiful, positive way that we can even imagine. So we have a lot to talk about. So let's dive in. And so far, I'm seeing everybody saying, "Yes, would love that." Jerry, good morning. Tylin, that is Jacqueline. Tyler, good morning. J Lo says, "That is an amazing idea. Woohoo! Would love to have broadcast notes." Love it. Love it, love it. Okay, so I will find a way to do that. I don't know if that will be free. It might be like a $5 fee. We'll see. It depends on how I can deliver that to everybody. Chester's mom, good morning to you as well. So let's dive in. Let's talk first about the void of course moon. We do have a void of course every time the moon comes to the end of a sign, or at least an end to the new aspect she will make while transiting through a sign. So we know she's in Aries right now. She has been since Saturday. And that means now it's been 2.5 days. She's coming to the end of that transit through Aries, and she is not making any more new aspect or any connections to other planets. She has actually been in this void. Hold on, I got that out for you this morning because I thought you might want to know. I think it was last night at 10:30 p.m. Yes, it was 10. Yep, those little pesky critters. They're always hiding my stuff. Oh, here it is. I hide it from myself. They since yeah, 10:58 p.m. my time last night, so early this morning for those of you on the East Coast. And she is in that void until 2:43 p.m. this afternoon. So it's a difficult Monday when you have the moon not difficult like in a bad way, but Monday's always the start of the week, the work week anyway, and we want to get rolling and we want to get things done. And not only are we in a void of course, but we're also in the dark before the new moon. So we're finishing up the last cycle. So this is a day that not much new can get started or get its feet off the ground until well after 2:43 p.m. That's West Coast time. That's already end of day for those of you over end of work day anyway, for those of you on the East Coast. So during this time, the moon's energy is kind of in a sort of limbo, if you will, where she is in the process of transitioning, in this case, between Aries and Taurus. And because Aries is the first sign of the zodiac and is associated with things like assertiveness or courage or action, impulsiveness, even, when the moon is in this winding down space, it can be a time where we can't get much going, right? We might feel like the emotional energy is just kind of meh, 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 right? Or it can feel a bit scattered or unfocused. We don't know quite what to do with that energy. And there can be a lack of clarity and a lack of direction. It is best used, any void of course moon is best used in finishing what has already been started, right? Or rather than starting something new, wrap up what's been going on, even if you've already done everything that needs to be done. And maybe now it's just a process. Maybe you'd want to journal what the integration piece is all about. What did you learn during this period of time? Or what did that project bring to you? Or what notes do you have to yourself about what you want to do next? So it's the opportunity for us to reflect on our goals and our desires and get ready for the reset that happens before the moon moves into the next sign. That reset also happens to be preparation for a new moon. It's kind of an exciting day if you think about it. It might not be taking us on this wild trip that we want to go on yet, but what a great day to use this energy of the moon's winding down to get clarity about what you might want to be creating or what intentions you want to set for the new moon tomorrow, right? Use the time, but not in the way that we normally would think of a moon in Aries, where we could go forward fast. It's not that kind of day, but it is a good day to sort of integrate the things that you've already experienced, wrap up anything that is, hanging out there that's not quite complete, and then also get ready for the new moon. So now let's transition to what is the new moon? Well, we'll talk about the new moon. Now let's just talk in general terms about what the moon in Taurus is all about. Now this is so very important, you guys, because there is an opportunity for us to become very allowing and receptive to all of the abundance in the universe, right? Right now. It reminds me of the meditation that I once shared with you, and I can't remember the guy's name. It'll dawn on me maybe later, where we are seated with a bowl or a basket in front of us, and we are just waiting, allowing the bounty of the universe to fall into our laps, so to speak, or into our vessel, and allowing it rather than blocking it from a spiritual high. And the moon in Taurus is like this, and it's not just the moon in Taurus, right? There's the sun, there's Venus, there's Jupiter, there's Uranus, there's the moon. That's five. Next week, we add Mercury to the mix. So we'll still have five. And it is an amazing opportunity for all of us to relax into the arms of the divine and allow the abundance to flow to us, right? To flow, right? Just with ease, with grace. That word grace, that's important because there's another body that's sitting in grace for us. So while life is still probably a little shocking at times and there's still these ups and downs, they're only, the little things along the way that help us recalibrate and reestablish that connection to flow. All right, to abundance. So when the moon is transiting through Taurus, which it will beginning later this afternoon, this evening, for those of you on the East Coast, it is a time for us to gain emotional stability. Taurus loves stability, security, right? It loves to be anchored. It loves to have that foundation. It loves that idea of being stable and grounded, right? That this with the moon means emotional stability and groundedness. So, with that can come a sense of inner peace, maybe contentment, a desire for more comfort or more security. This is part of this transit, right, of the moon in Taurus. And there's also the whole sensual side of Taurus. It is engaged with the five senses. And the more of those senses that we get engaged in the world, the more that we enjoy the whole physical manifestation of who we are, this physical body, right? With the food, the smell, the touch, right? Taste, all of the senses that come alive in the sign of Taurus. Um, Material security. Now, this is huge. This is huge because of the placement that the moon will be in with the sun during the new moon tomorrow. It's huge because the sun by transit in human design is aspecting this gate. And this is this energy of allowing, being receptive to all the good that's coming. Now, it doesn't mean it's only the good, right? There could be other things that come to us that maybe don't feel as good, but are signposts that allow us to recalibrate our journeys, right? So don't look if there are obstacles that you're contending with right now, you're going to set those aside. You're going to see them as a sign that things are not yet completely calibrated. It doesn't mean you're not abundant. It doesn't mean that the good isn't coming. It doesn't mean that you are not able to be receptive. You just have to wait for a moment, perhaps. Reconsider something for a moment, reevaluate yourself or your situation. There is stubbornness, of course, stubbornness. Let's talk about it as resistant to change, right? Taurus gets in a comfort zone. It takes more energy for a sign like Taurus to move us into new territory, especially if where you're sitting is comfortable. But everything around you may be pointing you to the need for change. But if you're comfortable, it could be very difficult. So this trait can be more pronounced. You might see very clearly where you've been stuck or where the rut is no longer tolerable. And so we have to come face to face and have a reckoning with the idea of stubbornness. Where have we dug our heels in, and where is it no longer supporting us, particularly if we're attached to specific routines, to specific possessions or beliefs, or if we are reluctant to deviate from any of those things that we have in our lives, right? We might need to face the need for change. This Taurus has a knack for staying calm under pressure. So there is that. This is a positive in the sign of Taurus, right? They are not as easily poked by the bear, right? They are a little more resilient in the face of challenges. So the moon here bringing that as emotional stability also helps us stay resistant to stress. That doesn't mean that we don't make a change or that we don't respond in a way that alleviates the stress, but we can maintain a sense of inner peace and calm and tranquility, even in challenging circumstances, right? Always looking at, what is this showing me? What is this telling me about me? And of course, Taurus is an earth sign. It is deeply connected to the natural world. And during this transit, we may feel a stronger desire to get out into the garden or get out into nature, gardening, hiking, walking, doing just enjoying the simple pleasures of nature, right? The flowers, if you're in the northern hemisphere now, all the flowers are coming into bloom. All the trees are popping out with leaves. It's really beautiful out there, and it can be very fulfilling to spend time in the outdoors while the moon is transiting Taurus. Enjoy those simple pleasures, be open and abundant, or at least be open minded to receiving abundance, allowing. I'm going to keep saying that word. I even capitalized it in the title of today's show. It's the art of allowing, right? We have lots of different arts that we're mastering in this lifetime. This week, it's about the art of allowing. All right. That is also a good time for self care. Take a personal inventory. Where are you overly stressed, or where are you in need of more rest, perhaps? Do take care of yourself and also build a solid foundation for what will happen later in this moon transit through Taurus when we have the new moon. And it's a good one, right? Take advantage. All right. Now, before we get into that new moon, there are some things that we have to go backwards in time a little bit to Sunday. That's not too far in time. I want to take a look at Saturn. Saturn is moved into the gate 22, which is in your human design on the solar plexus, which, if you're looking at your chart, it would be the center. If you're looking at the chart, it's at the bottom right. It is the center for emotions. It is the center for creative expression, or where creativity is incubated and ready or prepared to move out into the world. The gate 22 is called the gate of grace. And it's an interesting gate here because it connects right up to the throat center via the gate 12. So the 12 and the 22. So the 22 is sometimes where we feel alternately bold and shy, right? The 22 gives us the grace to understand our emotion. What am I feeling at this moment? And then the ability to, instead of knee jerk and react to what I'm feeling, to be able to hold space until I can really get a real clear idea of what is going on. So I don't need to knee jerk and speak boldly if I'm not in the mood. This is mood energy. This is moody energy. And this mood can be up and down, right? So we have to understand sometimes we are in grace as far as being able to speak in a way that is positive, hopeful, helpful. But other times we have to bite that back because we're not in that mood, and what we say or how we express ourselves or how we respond isn't really responding, but more like reacting. So it's really interesting. This is the ability to find beauty and harmony in our life's experiences, but also to be okay with all of those emotions, the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? There's just no way that we can say, I'm only going to be happy, right? Because the emotional energy takes us on a wild ride. Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, if you've ever been to Disneyland, right? Now, when Saturn, the planet of duty and discipline, form and structure, lands here in this gate, it brings us an opportunity to increase our focus on emotional maturity, right? Now, I don't mean to say that you're a bunch of immature people or that we as humans are a bunch of immature people, but when it comes to emotions, we are a bunch of immature people. we have we have not yet mastered the art of emotions, and here's an opportunity to help us along our pathway to emotional maturity. Now, what does emotional maturity mean? It means that no matter what you're feeling, you are tuned in and you are not in reaction to what you're feeling. So, for example, this is such a great example because we're in our think of the emotions. You're driving along in your car, right? You're on the freeway, and some person is totally unconscious and cuts you off, right? What's the emotion that you get immediately? Maybe it's anger, frustration, fear, right? This person cut me off. I could have, if I hadn't slammed my brakes on, I might have hit him. Um, and that immediate action from this other person sends us into a mood, right? Sends us into anger or frustration. And now it is possible because we as humans do this quite frequently. We hold on to that anger or that frustration or that fear. And now it colors our day. Right now, I'm just more tense behind the wheel, or I'm more struggling to relax. I can't relax because everybody's an idiot on the road and they're all going to, they're all out to get me. They're causing me stress, right? So we got to learn to relax in the face of emotions and understand that emotions are just telling you where something has come out of alignment with your heart, right? Where that part of you isn't aligned anymore. And it gives us the opportunity to manage that feeling or to in a constructive way, how to manage the emotional energy. Now, there's also a commitment to inner growth here. Saturn gives us the commitment, right? And, a part of Saturn in Pisces is emotional, it's psychic, and it's just sensitive to all of the vibes, all of the frequencies that are running around us. So, in this case, with Saturn at the gate 22, we have this opportunity to commit ourselves to inner growth, to personal development of our own management of our emotions, right? Of what we're feeling, greater emotional resilience, perhaps, greater wisdom about how to use emotional energy correctly and understand emotional boundaries. Saturn is all about boundaries, and Saturn's influence here can help us establish healthy boundaries. And emotional boundaries allow us to know where we end and another person begins, and how we are so easily influenced by others' emotions, right? How easy is it if I'm angry now, I've been on this road and now I arrive at somebody's house or I arrive at work, let's say, and I'm mad because I've had this, jerky time on the road, and now I'm impacting everybody else with my mood. with the expression, right? So we have to become more discerning about how we use our emotional energy, but also because you're not the only one on the planet, how is it that you allow other people's emotions to impact you? Right? That almost is more important than, if you're taking responsibility for yourself, and with Saturn here, we all need to learn to take responsibility for our own emotional health. But lots of people don't give one whit about it, and they just vomit all of their emotion outward onto other people. So we have to learn also how to form a boundary around ourselves by not allowing those people to take us down, right? We might do something simple like walk away, reduce the amount of time that we have to be around that person, or issue an invitation to that person to change their mood, right? So, Saturn encourages us to express our emotions in a more structured and disciplined sort of way. Now, right as I even say that, as that comes out of my mouth, I'm like, yeah, right. Because how do you structure and how do you discipline emotions, right? Emotional energy, by definition, is energy in motion, right? The energy of a feeling in motion. So, it's a learning process. So these next months, May, June, July, August, next 3 months are really going to be about how, maybe almost 4 months, because this is early May. Um, how do we articulate our feelings? How do we communicate our needs? How do we communicate in a way that is, I want to say non emotional, but maybe more detached from the feeling of emotion, so that when we are speaking with somebody about something, it doesn't come off as an emotional mess, right? Now, Saturn's transit through gate 22 reminds us of the importance of emotion, of patience, of understanding mood, and how sometimes the mood is high and we feel bold and confident and we can, move forward, and other times the emotional energy or the mood is low, and that's a time for us to wait, right? Wait for clarity, wait until the shift comes in the mood. But we're being encouraged to stay the course, not to give up on ourselves or to give up on our dreams or our projects or our intentions. Just trust the process of growth and transformation, because what happens in the emotional solar plexus is that we receive clarity over time. And what that means is that, we don't always know where we are on the emotional course of our lives. So the emotional energy could be very high and then it drops to the low. It can be very high and slowly start dropping, or it can be, up and down, up and down. So we don't always know where we are on that wave. So it's best for us to have wait for clarity over time. Now, this is something anybody who has a defined emotional center in their human design has to learn. But now we're all getting this opportunity to learn about emotional clarity. And because of the nature of the wave and how it flows, sometimes we're on the higher part of the wave and sometimes we're in the more lower part of the wave. The higher part of the wave is the expressive or the outgoing of the energy, and the lower part of the wave is the incubation, or the where we're in consideration, where it's not quite ready yet, and then that leads to the time of expression, which then leads to the time of incubation, and on like that. So emotional energy is like a wave that sometimes is where we have to wait for clarity, and other times where we can express ourselves clearly. But we're learning about that. Why? Because right now, the way our world works is we're always trying to force ourselves into the creative process and having, just mediocre results. Mostly because we're trying to push against the wave, and it creates all kinds of frustration and upset within us. So, Be committed to your inner growth during these next few months while Saturn is here. Embrace the lessons and challenges around navigating emotions and navigating them with grace and wisdom rather than with anger and frustration or upset or believing that something is wrong with you. All right. Patience. Um, yeah, Disneyland flashback. That's right, Teddy. Jolie, good morning. Christine Buckingham says natal 22.2 sun in Pisces, open solar plexus with hanging gate to the gate 12 and an open throat. So I have my sun is at the gate 12. And now with Saturn here at 22, it completes that channel from the emotional center up to my throat center and defines my open throat. And I think that might be what I'm hearing you say here. Um, yeah, you have a hanging gate at 12. So now you also, like me, are really in this process of understanding the rise and fall of emotions and how it contributes to what you say or what you create, what you make manifest in the world. Tracy Evans, good morning. Londa, good morning. Pauline, good morning. It's great to have all of you with us this morning. Okay, now just a quick go back. Last Wednesday when I did the Astro Inklings with Tam, we talked about her course that's coming up called the Money Class. And at that time, she didn't really have the link for it, but there it is. It is the Money Class. And there's your link if you would like to sign up for it. It's several days. It's a class over time, self-study. It's perfect because Taurus rules the financial markets. It rules your personal finances, your beliefs around money. And in this class, she is going to be talking about all of those things, getting down and dirty into your belief system. And I also think she is really good at EFT, which is tapping and helping us to release any things that are encrusted around our beliefs of allowing, our beliefs of the flow of money, any of our stuck places around finances, abundance, and allowing. So there's the link there. For those of you who are watching on Facebook this morning, I will also paste that in the chat as I produce this later on. JLo has 22.1 culture with defined solar plexus, but I have a defined throat. Well, it's a possibility that you're learning to speak with more grace, to manifest with more grace, with more of an eye to the mood, to the opening for boldly moving forward versus the time when it's time to sit back and wait or allow the energy to shift. So it just brings more of that. Linda Dennis, oh my goodness, great to see you. Um, it's great to have you with us. I'm so glad that you are out there today. All right. So, because I want to have time to talk about the new moon, I'm going to move on to what is happening today in terms of Saturn again. Today, we have the sun in a sextile to Saturn. And a sextile is a harmonious transit or aspect. It brings a harmonizing energy between the sun's full on energy, light, and our ego and our manifestation of ourselves in the world, and our duty and responsibility as it's viewed through um, Saturn. And something just freaking dawned on me. The sun is at gate 2, Saturn at 22. We have 222. Somebody look that up and tell us, what does the number, the angel number 222 mean? Because that's activated for all of us at this point in time. So much fun. But let's take a look at what the sun sextile Saturn is all about, because there's a certain amount of harmony that goes with the aspect itself. And the sun and Saturn tend to work together really well for bringing us focus, for helping us manifest, to help us set goals, and to be more disciplined in our approach to getting to the goals, right? How we are meant to do that. And so it suggests stability and structure going hand in hand. We have Saturn in Pisces, so there's this sense of imagination and creativity already present in Pisces and already present through the gate 22, where Saturn is freshly sitting at, and the sun in the gate 2, the gate of allowing. So we're bringing this ease of being able to set up the structures for what it is that we want to manifest, and staying attuned to our emotional needs while we're doing that, as well as our intuition, psychic intuition, instinct, all a part of Saturn in the sign of Pisces. And this transit then brings a sort of magical realism to the game, practical realism, maybe the magical being able to be made manifest in reality, because Taurus is associated with practicality and groundedness, and Pisces, of course, associated with the imaginational realm, fantasy or the fantastical. And we combine these effectively when the sun is in a sextile to Saturn. Yay, right? Creative inspiration, spiritual insights, all coming through in a way that's practical, grounded, and able to be used or made manifest in our lives. There's discipline and diligence here. When I think about how discipline and diligence is made manifest in this kind of, Sun in Taurus, Saturn in Pisces, I think of it as, what are those ideas that have been out here that you've been wanting to do, the creativity that you've been wanting to express, but you've been holding back? And this gives us the opportunity to say, what the heck, right? I'm going to risk putting this out there, even if I don't know yet how people will react to it, because it doesn't matter, because it's my creation that I want to put out. So the discipline and diligence here is all about sticking with the idea as you make it manifest in your life. I hope that makes sense to people. There's constructive planning here, right? We're in everything about today so far is telling us it is a great time to consider what you want to do, create the plan or dream the dream, maybe not yet take the next step because we don't have the new moon until tomorrow, but dream the dream. How do you want to bring it about? Okay. Constructive planning. Set clear goals for yourself. Develop a practical strategy for how you want to move ahead. Saturn, of course, encourages us to approach the idea of creativity with discipline and structure, right? Making the plan and executing the plan, but in a creative way that is unique to you. There's responsibility and accountability in this as well, right? You can't blame others for you not being able to get something done or for what you haven't yet done. Stop blaming circumstances outside of you, even just get to it. Right? Hold yourself accountable to getting it done. It could be a very productive day. And as long as you're not trying to start something new, remember at the beginning of the show, we talked about the void of course moon. And today, until we get to 2:43 p.m. West Coast time, 5:43 for those of you on the East Coast, the moon is one, right? It's in a much better place for planning, for strategy, but not new action, right? So be aware of that. But then the Saturn sext or Sun sextile, the Saturn placement in the gate 22 is about steady progress toward creation of our dreams, right? Or creation of our projects. We get some stamina built into this, a disciplined approach to the creation that sometimes escapes us, right? Especially like wherever you have, scattered a lot of air energy in the chart, sometimes we get scattered. This brings us this dose of discipline and the ability to stick with what we want to create. Um, any questions? If you have any questions about anything we're talking about, of course, you can post that down here at the bottom. The next thing I want to talk about today is the new moon in Taurus. Now, the new moon, of course, is always a time of new beginnings, setting intentions for what you want to create. And now we're setting those intentions in a sign that's known for abundance, for being able to take practical action, for allowing, for gratitude, for forgiveness, even in some respects. So this particular new moon is sort of jacked up with opportunities and new beginnings. And that's partly because the new moon is still fairly close to a conjunction to Uranus and to Jupiter on one side, right? Jupiter and Uranus are leading. In fact, it's if you think about this train of planets in Taurus right now, Jupiter's leading the pack, right? It's the furthest into the sign of Taurus. So Jupiter is about growth and expansion. So we have Jupiter leading us, into the future of who we want to be, what we want to have in our lives, and the energy of allowing, right? Even though, he's a little further out, he's really bringing us the opportunities and kind of generating the luck and the fortune to get us through this period of time. Whoo, I could have had a V8. Now, right behind Jupiter, if Jupiter's the train engine, then right behind that is Uranus, and he would be sort of some pushing energy. Maybe he's an extra engine added to this train of planets because he brings the unexpected changes, the unexpected breakthroughs during this new moon, the things that where innovation and invention is at play, where suddenly there's this moment that we push through a barrier, right? And where maybe we just throw caution to the wind and we say, I'm going to allow all the good to come to me this year, this month, this new moon, right? Behind that second engine, the pushing engine, we have the sun and the moon in a conjunction. That's what a new moon is when they come into conjunction. They represent together something new, right? A new beginning, the opportunities made manifest, or the goals, the dreams, the intentions set, put in place for that new beginning to take off. It's like the launching pad of the next creation, right? The next intention. And because it's very close to Uranus and to Jupiter, we have breakthroughs, we have the opportunity for sudden insights, right? For the unexpected developments, the unexpected breaking into our consciousness of abundance through the energy of allowing, being open to receiving. That's what allowing is, being open to receiving. Now, there's expansion and growth here in this new moon. There is embracing change and being flexible. Remember, Taurus, the sign itself, can get stuck, right? It's loyal energy, it's stable energy, it's security oriented. And if change is going to lead to instability, then there's going to be this pushback. We're going to feel like we can't do that. I'm going to encourage every one of you to push through, right? Just push through. Just go one step outside of your comfort zone. Then take the next step outside of your comfort zone. This is an opportunity, while Jupiter and Uranus in their part of this, they bring the excitement, right? They bring the potential for change and the excitement that comes when things change and we're able to move forward. But in the sign of Taurus, it's grounded. So we have grounded optimism. I guess that's one phrase that we could put out here, that we can harness Jupiter's optimism and growth potential in grounded Taurus ways by creating a stable, secure foundation, by building that foundation brick by brick, step by step, by having a strategy, a plan for breaking through, a plan for moving to the next level, right? This is leveling up time if you're a game player. This is purely manifesting and abundance energy. I mean, every year we have a new moon in Taurus, so that's not different. But the fact that we have a new moon in Taurus conjunct Jupiter and Uranus at the same time, wow. It's just wow, right? You're bringing all of the magic of creation into the physical realm for us to use in creating the life that we want to live, the project that we want to get off the ground, right? Nurturing and growing energy is also present here. It's not just launching, but then it's also the ability for us to stick with it, to nurture it, to feed it, to water it, and watch it grow, right? This can lead us to financial well being, to material comfort, to the feeling of just contentment and happiness that we're achieving our dreams. We're achieving our goals, right? So it's a powerful time for us to set intentions. Don't waste this new moon. I'm not going to waste this new moon, right? I'm not always very good at sitting down and making out intentions, but doggone it, I'm going to do it this time. And embrace change, whatever it is within you that might need to change so that you can align more fully with abundance and manifesting energy, aligning yourself with that potential for growth, expansion, abundance through allowing. Stay open to new possibilities, right? Don't shut yourself down. Don't don't shut down anything. And then remember with Saturn at the gate of grace, which has nothing to do necessarily with the new moon, except that's where Saturn is, that we can go through these things gracefully, optimistically, right? This doesn't have to be ugly change. This doesn't have to be pull the rug out from underneath you kind of change. It's graceful. It's moving in the right direction, and that direction is of abundance and stability and security. All right. Now, it's not always, but it can happen where the Sabian symbol, the human design symbol, and of course the astrological sign or symbol match so beautifully during an event such as the new moon. Here's the Sabian symbol. And by the way, let me do this real quickly. The new moon is on Tuesday, May 7th at 11:22 p.m. for those of you on the East Coast of the US, and that makes it at 8:22 p.m. for those of us on the West Coast and all of the hours in between. If you are in Europe, right, in the universal time zone, it is at 3:22 a.m. on May 8th. So you're the next morning, technically speaking. Okay. So that's the timing. The degree is 18 degrees, 2 minutes of Taurus, 1802. And that means when we look at the Sabian symbol, it says a new continent rising out of the oceans. I actually marked it in my book because I thought it was worth reading. Just need to find the book now. Oh, there you are. Okay, I'm going to read it to you and then we'll talk about what, the deeper meaning might be here. Do we have time? Yes, we do. So, a new continent rising out of the ocean, and its keynote says, the surge of new potentiality after the crisis. Now, remember, the crisis I'm taking this to be is that we've now moved Chiron out of the gate 51, the gate of shock. We are winding down the North Node's transit through the gate 51. In fact, this weekend, that energy changes. So the energy, it's not to say there won't be crises or potential shocks. It just means that we're winding this down. And it says the symbol need hardly be commented upon. When the mind has been emptied and light has been called upon to purify the consciousness freed from its attachment and contaminations, a new release of life can emerge out of the infinite ocean of potentiality, the virgin space. What will it be used for? And that is the question, right? What are you going to use this new emerging concept or opportunity for in your life? Because what's emerging out of us at this point is significant. It's new. right? And it's like a new land mass, i.e., new continent rising out of the ocean. It's full of potential. It's unwritten upon, right? It symbolizes the birth of fresh opportunities, the breaking of new ground, and the unveiling of previously unseen potential, right? Something new, if only we allow, right? Allow. Metaphorically, then, this symbol represents the moment of profound transformation for each one of us, or a major breakthrough energy for ourselves, but also for the collective, right? It indicates that it's more than just what, we personally are engaged with, but more about how we are going to be able to share of that new breakthrough with our fellow human beings. Okay. It might be a new way of thinking. It might be a new direction in your life. It might have the potential to reshape your relationships with others. One way or another, something big is going on, something potentially lying here in this new moon that really speaks to the power of creation and the limitless possibilities that exist when we are open to the unknown and when we're willing to receive from the unknown, right? Or from the divine, from the expanse of the creator in the universe. And that means that there's a big dose here of optimism and curiosity that we can envelop or develop, and a sense of adventure for what comes next. And this links up with this new moon being at the gate 2, which is about embracing possibilities, right? This isn't about just what is, this is about what could be if you were only to open up and allow, right? Be receptive to all the ways in which the universe can create something from nothing, or create space for you to be in a new frame of reference or in a new life, or finding something new, finding your true identity, because that's a part of this as well. The gate 2 meets up with the gate 1, which is life purpose, right? Or gate 8, I'm sorry, contribution. Where am I saying that wrong? Oh, no, what I'm thinking is that the gate 2 is where the sun is, and the earth is at the gate 1. So what we would talk about here is the earth kind of causing us to live our lives, to be open to receiving the right next action for us to do to live out our life purpose, or the next creation that is aligned with your life purpose. Finding your true identity, your true purpose, and trusting your intuition in this as well to guide you along the path. Letting go of control. The gate is called allowing. It's funny because the next gate that the North Node moves into is the gate of control. We'll talk about that more on Friday, because right now we're still finishing. There's a lot of other things that we could talk about. But letting go of control and trusting in life's unfoldment, right? That things are unfolding as they should for you. Trusting your intuition, embracing change, setting intentions for self-discovery, understanding yourself more, right? What makes you tick? And this is a time that invites us to allow and embrace the journey of self discovery, trusting in our intuition, trusting that, right, that we have this basket. You can't see my arms, but this basket of waiting to receive all of the abundance that is yours. And sometimes we just have to surrender ourselves to it. Sometimes we just have to get our ego out of the way. Sometimes we just have to settle into receiving. That's what this moon is all about. Because typically it's us stopping the flow of abundance, right? And Lo is telling me the moon just shifted into gate 3, a gate of your unique innovation and inventive self, right? Being the innovator of your life. I like that. The gate 3 is sometimes a gate where we think of being different, different in a way sometimes that makes you feel like the square peg in the round hole, but that it is your unique contribution to life on this planet. So thanks for letting me know that, JLo. Chester's mom says, thank you for this. I have a proposal to send a client and we'll wait till later today after 5 EST. Good plan, right? 5:43 to be exact is when the moon will shift out of Aries and into Taurus. So good timing. All right, let's pull a card for let's pull a couple of cards. I think I want to pull a Wisdom of the Oracle. Oop, and an angel guide. Oh lordy. I also want to I just want to pull one card of every kind. However, I don't have time, but this one, star codes. Let's pull that one first. And of course, I love pulling cards to gain more insight into what's happening for us. And sometimes the cards, validate and verify, everything that we've talked about. But sometimes it gives us another facet, something that we didn't really talk about, but that is important for us to understand. And the card I got is Imam Kaweli. I'm not even sure how to say that word. In other words, the IC of your chart, the root, right? Look at that lovely card, the tree that has the roots. In your chart, we might call it the IC. Sometimes we call it the nadir. It is the dividing line between the third house and the fourth house. And it really represents this idea of root or foundation, or the basis or security and so forth. So let's take a look here. That is card number 38, which is an 11. Gotta love 11s. Imagine your spine extends down into the earth like a taproot, the strong central root under a tree, through the earth to a point on the sun's path below. Latin for bottom of the sky, the Imam Coeli or IC points to the memories and experiences that fed your first roots, your early home life, your family traditions, and your biological and emotional heritage. The roots, very Taurus, right? Action, look to the roots. Think about what makes you feel at home and secure, which creates sanctuary for you. What creates sanctuary for you? Investigate the foundations and become a conscious investigate the foundations and become conscious of the traditions and assumptions that underlie this situation. Lean into habits that help you feel secure and grounded. If you enjoyed your childhood, family traditions can help you feel safe and strong in a storm. If you grew up in chaos, you may crave the opposite and so create your own quiet sanctuary. If you grew up around arguments, arguing with people at home may seem normal to you, but that may not be the case for your housemate. So you may need to learn to present your points in a more transformative, less combative way. Here's your challenge. Unconscious patterns from your personal history may underlie the situation and need excavation. Boom, right? We're in a time where we're going to be setting intentions for us to become abundant. And in the face it, on this planet, abundance is wrapped up in money. Remember, the link that I have showing here in the window is about Tam's class on money and how to get out of our own way, our own belief patterns, etc. The gift in this is about building roots of our own, feeling our spines extend like a deep taproot of a tree into the ground. Feel the strength of the earth pulsing up through you, holding you strong through any storm. Wow, that is a good card. That's a good reminder, right? I see it as an invitation to anchor a new you, right? A new idea, a new possibility, a new expression of who you are in the world. Wisdom of the Oracle. What time is it? Oh, I got time. Okay, so the Wisdom of the Oracle is a Colette Baron Reed card deck, and it's one of my favorites to use when I'm struggling with something I need to know. This is New Life. It came out upside down. New Life. This is appropriate for a new moon. New Life is card number 39, which is a 12, which is a 3. So we have some creative energy associated with new life. But it was upside down, so we might have a little bit of a challenge to go through here. Let's see what the challenge might be about. The card's essential meaning is birth of new ideas, growth, opportunities, a breath of fresh air, life renewing itself. Now, it's upside down, so we have a protection message in this card, in this deck. It says you must acknowledge your inexperience and gently allow yourself to be like the delicate new bud opening. It's okay to admit you may not know something. You are at the beginning of things and haven't yet hit your stride. Be immersed in the newness of it all and don't try to rush the learning process. New life has its own timetable for maturity. Be here now. Life loves you. Pretty card. New life. All right. That goes right along with everything we talked about. And I felt like we needed an angel guide to help us on this week. So this is a deck by Kyle Gray, and it's called the Angel Guide Oracle, and artwork by Jennifer Hockyard. Ooh, look at this lovely card. I love it. I knew there was a reason I needed this deck. It says, expect miracles. Look at that face, just exuding joy. Expect miracles. This doesn't have a number associated with it. I opened it right up at the deck. Our message says, miracles occur naturally. They are always ready to unfold. Your angels are encouraging you to prepare yourself for them now. A miracle doesn't have to be an extravagant change in circumstances. It can be a simple shift of energy that creates a wave of love in your life. If you need something positive to happen or you are praying hard for something, this card brings you the message that something exciting and healing is about to unfold. In order to help this along, you are being guided by your angels to recognize and honor your own worth. Realize that you are absolutely worthy of miracles and they will unfold in your life. Your entire life has been brought together by miracles. They are happening all the time, and the miracle that you need isn't a difficult one because, in the hands of the divine, anything is possible. Here's the extended message. It says, place yourself in a golden light. All right, everybody, get ready. Place yourself in a golden light. Remember that the light of God is within you, right there in the heart of your being, your soul. Good things can happen for you. But in order to manifest something wonderful in your life, you have to believe that it is possible. You could be seeing the miracle you need as impossible or even as too big for you to achieve. Ultimately, this is exactly what is blocking it from happening. So change it now. Your angel guide is inviting you to open your mind and heart and see what you need being delivered to you. Feel that it is already in your life. Feel grateful for all your blessings, and you will allow the miracles you deserve to unfold. Great reminder of the power of allowing. Expect miracles. Phew, I'm so glad I pulled that card. All right, everybody, that is it for me today. Don't forget, follow this link if you're interested in taking Tam's class on money and abundance. I will see you on Friday, where we will take a look at what the nodal shift into the gates 21 and 48 have in store for us. Take care, everybody. Much love. Bye.